I am doing, and I hope you are too.
I am blessed and highly favored.
Let me start this morning by first asking you this question. I don't know if have you seen that flyer that's making the round about comment made by your colleague in Parliament, Tachia, that they should vote for an economist and not a journalist?
It's interesting. I have not seen it.
You have not?
I have not seen it. I've not.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've not seen it, but that is laughable. Then nobody should have voted for Akufo-Addo because he got third class at the university.
The question is about journalists and
and I'm saying a journalist, any qualified Ghanaian journalist, is still better than Nana Akufo-Addo.
Any qualified Ghanaian journalist is better than Nana Akufo-Addo?
Yes. If the person is qualified, it means the person passes exams at GIG. But Akufo-Addo got third class at Legon.
This Nana Akufo-Addo is quite a highly respected lawyer.
Well, he's yet to show us his law certificate.
Law certificate?
Yes. At least it's been proven that his name was never seen in the law register of Ghana. It was inserted.
His name was inserted into the law register of Ghana. But President Akufo-Addo did not say anything. It is Atacha who has spoken.
So, but what reference is he making?
He's saying Dr. Bawumia is an economist, former President Mahama identified proudly as a journalist. Okay. That I choose the economist Bawumia over.
So I have also a qualification in journalism, so I have to defend the journalist. And I know just some journalists are better, more intelligent than so-called economists. Because if a journalist was the chairman of the economic management team and was able to lead this country into a single-digit inflation economy sustainably for 2 years, and a so-called renowned economist will mess up this country, will take us to an inflation of close to about 57%, then Ghanaians would always vote for a journalist over a so-called economist.
But do you think that's what is important, whether or not former President Mahama is a journalist and Dr. Bawumia is an economist? In this election, what do you think people should prioritize?
Leadership. Leadership of trust, credibility. That is what Ghanaians should be looking for. You know, so now when I was growing up, what my elders taught me is always to be truthful, to be candid, and always be decent. That is what my elders taught me. When I was a child, we used to read a book, which was a reference point for principles and good behavior when we were children, students' companion. And that book taught us how to speak the truth, how to be ready to apologize to people when you offend them, how you can be decent in your speeches, you know. And that is the mark of a principled leadership. I have not seen this in any other politician in this particular dispensation than John Dramani Mahama. Humble, decent, truthful, principled, always ready to take blame for things that he's done, take responsibility for them. When he has to apologize, he did. When he has to do it and take a responsibility and solve them, he will solve them. And I will always, Ghanaians will always remember that day when he stood before Parliament and promised the whole nation that I have inherited this problem of doomsday. I'm not going to manage my way out of it as others have done. I'm going to fix it. And by the time he left office, he faced it to the extent that Bawumia sat on television and told people John Mahama should not be given any credit for solving doomsday. John Mahama should not be congratulated for solving doomsday because it's a problem he created. That is the difference. You see, where we have gotten to, anybody who today cannot stand and say, this is my faith, this is my religion, this is what I believe in, is not worth leading us. Because we've gotten to a level where you need people who are candid, who are truthful, who are responsible, and will take decisions and defend them, and they will be able to look into the face of Ghanaians and say, look, this is what I want to do and can be trusted. That is the sort of leadership we are looking for. And that is the sort of leadership we want to see in these elections. Not somebody who today will say, I'm a Christian, and then tomorrow say, I'm a Muslim. Somebody who could deny his own parentage just because of politics. And that is how dangerous it is. Ghanaians will be dumped if they decide to vote for somebody who cannot be trusted. Because what we've got into, this country needs trusted leadership. Somebody who will say A, stand by it. Somebody who will deliver on the promises he makes. And not somebody who can stand in front of the people of Cape Coast and tell them we are going to build an airport for you. And then the following week, his president comes to say it was not in our manifesto. Somebody who could sit on radio and tell the whole world that our most accomplished achievement is the Pualugu Dam. Public Accounts Committee will prove that millions of our taxpayers' money has been spent on the Pualugu Dam. Meanwhile, you go there and it's a desert plain. Somebody who can lead a team to spend our $2 million on a so-called proposed Sky Train when our land train itself is suffering.
So to you, it's about character, honesty.
It's about character. It's about decency. It's about principle. It's about truthfulness. And it's about somebody who will be candid with Ghanaians. Did you listen to Bawumia very well? In the whole speech he gave, where did he himself touch on the mess that he has created as the head of the economic management team? Even when they want to talk about the suffering Ghanaians are going through, he didn't say it. Somebody else. What he's telling you is that he's not ready to take responsibility for the mess he has led this country into. And you want us to hand over this country to this such a person again?
But
look, even in that manifesto, one big lie that they gave out because of that, I'm just sitting here and asking, how would Ghanaians ever vote for these people? Was the father saying they said they've created 6 universities. 6 universities. Senna, do you know one of the universities?
No.
The University of Media and Communication.
Which one?
You asking me, Senna?
There's a they built a new University of Media and Communications.
That's what they said.
Really?
Bringing together university, Institute of Journalism, instead of languages, and then instead of communications together.
Oh,
Unimark. They said they created a university.
Unimark.
Yes.
Oh, is the university that they've built?
That's what they said in their manifesto.
I see.
The university for Dombo and all those things, they said they created a university. When we all know it is UBS, now you have changed the name. It's the campus, UBS campus, now you have changed the name. How can these liars be our leaders? So now, you know something about Baumia? The day I lost hope in him as any form of a leader was when this man stood there and talked about the so-called economic management team he is leading.
That was 2017.
Thank you.
The first few months of the administration.
Today, this man is denying the responsibility of the economic management team. He's running away from it. You don't fear such a person? This man who stood there and said, when the fundamentals are weak, the exchange will expose you. Then the following year or 2 years after, came and stood there and said, it's not always the case that when the fundamentals are weak, the exchange will expose you. He said when the exchange rate is late, it does not always mean the fundamentals are weak. This is a man, somebody who is an embodiment of lies. Want to lead this country at this crucial time? In fact, there was no hope in the manifesto. No hope. Hashing of 2016, even as far back 2004 manifestos of the MPP, Kufuor's MPP, putting those documents together, cutting and pasting, and he's standing there and delivering. Somebody who has just called somebody incompetent today stands there and is virtually plagiarizing the policies that that person has initiated. So was he not ashamed when he was talking about the 1 million coders policy? Something Jomama has been talking about for the past 1 year. Something which was in the 2020 NDC manifesto. Was he not ashamed when he was talking about the fact that they have to pay a stipend to premier football clubs, those who are playing in our Premier League? When Jomama has been talking about this for the past 4 years. I don't know what Brahman was doing on Saturday. Seriously. And look at how he was sweating. Because what he was saying was not coming out of him. Because if you are saying something that you believe in, you say it freely and so easy. You won't struggle. You won't stress. He was struggling. He was sweating.
Struggling and sweating.
Yes, because he doesn't even believe in the things he was saying. He was just saying it to once again 419 Ghanaians to vote for them.
You are calling what they are proposing a fraud, because this is Abu Jinapo MPP Manifesto, an action plan to build on Akufo-Addo's records. That's what they are calling it. For them, it's an action plan that identifies the current challenges of Ghana.
The whole MPP
and provide solutions for it.
The whole MPP government has been a fraud. defrauded Ghanaians of their hope, of their future. Destroyed it. The NPP is a perfect example of what the Bible says. They come to steal, kill, and destroy. They came with all the hopes they gave us. They've stolen the wealth of this country. They've killed the future of our youth. And they've destroyed the image, the integrity of this country.
Is that not too bleak of an assessment of this manifesto?
But that's the reality of the situation. That's the reality of the situation we find ourselves in Ghana today. I'm not the only person saying it. Former Chief Justice Sofa Akufo said the same thing. Mr. Kwampi Nima said the same thing. The future of this country is gone under this government. And you need a resetting. You need a new leader who is decent, who is visionary, who is action-oriented to be able to reset this country for recovery.
And you're convinced that former President John Dramani Mahama?
He's proven it. He has a proven track record. Somebody who never shied away from problems, who never ran away from them, confronted those hurdles and challenges, resolved them. Resolved them. Look, when John Mama was having economic crisis, he said, look, let's have a discussion on the future of this country. We had a century dialogue. From there, they took this drastic measure, going to IMF for credibility's sake of the homegrown policies that we've embarked upon, got the support. In an election year, zero Bank of Ghana financing, he went through it. Difficult decision, he went through it. He left the painful policies he embarked upon. This book came, enjoyed it, and even extended the period of the IMF policy. And they started bragging when they started getting the fruits. When the IMF, period that Joanna embarked upon elapsed, they went into their own period and everything started degenerating. They will not take responsibility for it. They started blaming COVID. After COVID, they came and they found another excuse in Russia-Ukraine war. Today, Ukraine's economy is on the rise. And they are still giving us excuse. After the haircuts, after the debt relief, they are still giving excuses. And that person who has led this miserable path is standing there telling us that we should still vote for him. We must be fools. We must be fools to once again allow these people to deceive us, lie to us, to vote for them.
On the same platform, on that day, talking about former President Mahama's record, I think it was Justin Frimpong-Kodia, who is General Secretary of the NPP, who said the first term of the former president you are talking about, in which you served, was a failure. That if it wasn't a failure, his mandate would have been renewed. The fact that his mandate was not renewed means he actually failed in that first term. How do you respond to that?
We could just sit down and do KPIs of John Mahama's government and the KPIs of this government. And every Ghanaian will realize that John Mahama was the best. Just on the issue of corruption, this government has achieved the accolade as the most corrupt government ever in the history of Ghana.
Most corrupt government?
Yes, ever in the history of Ghana. Not even a Champon. Not even a Champon government.
Really? Because they said they are not corrupt. In fact, their flag bearer has never been corrupt, will never been corrupt, no case of corruption against him. This government has not been corrupt.
Well, the flag bearer was even seen, ordinarily seen, taking envelopes. Which head of state have you seen visibly taking envelopes from people? Tell me. There have been videos of people taking money under the desk in his presidency. He has refused to see. Somebody that Matamidi referred as the mother serpent of corruption, the clearing agent. Look, I said Ghanaians will be naive. This election is going to test the intelligence level of Ghanaians. The people who said their GMI and had gone ahead to create an ejapadie and going by dot to dot, point to point, comma to comma of that ejapadie document. People who claim they own this country and said everything they are doing is state capture, to want to capture every aspect of our life. Even want to own us and turn us into their slaves. We want to compare themselves to John Mahama's government. Tofiakwa. Every indicator, every aspect of our social life. Look, Baumia himself, all that he's been touting himself for, so-called digitalization, the foundation and the fabric of that digitalization was built by John Mahama. I heard him talking about interportability, money transfer, systems. Money transfer systems was initiated in this country as far back as 2009 under Professor Mills. That was the first time MTN introduced their money transfer system. And that's why they are celebrating 15 years of it this year. That man has no credibility. Baumia has no credibility. He's a liar.
I see. Well, let me conclude with you. Of course, you hinted at the one about paying Premier League players. But it was not only that was said. In fact, they even talk about building stadia, among others. What do you make of his agenda for sports?
Well, you see, this government don't know what is called priority. And I always want to say, I laugh when I listen, when I hear them speak. It's total lies. They said the same thing in 2016. They should tell me the stadium they have built. The one they came to meet is rotting away. They spent millions to rehabilitate Kumasi Sports Stadium. Go and see. Next 2 weeks, Black Stars is playing a match there. Yesterday I saw the pitch. Go and see. Are they not in Ghana? Is Isipon not rotting away? What have they done about it? What have they done about Accra Sports Stadium? They spend millions to say that they are rehabilitating the Accra Sports Stadium. Go there and see. But for the recent Games, could we have what they put up at Baltimore? Even the Cape Coast, the new Cape Coast Stadium, we handed over to them just after 1 year. Go and see what is happening at Cape Coast. And they come to tell you are going to build new ones. The so-called centers of excellence that they wasted money to build. Go and see. To the extent that Azuma Nelson has ordered that his name should be taken off Carnation Sports Complex. Go and see what is happening there. What is in their hands, they are not able to manage. And they are telling you, give them more. We must be dumb as a people. MPP was a mistake. And I think Ghanaians need not do the same mistake again in 2024.
Honorable, thank you very much for speaking to us this morning.
Thank you too.
Honorable Edwin Nii Lantey Vanderpuye is Member of Parliament of the constituency, joining us on the line. We need to take a break shortly. Lawyer will just go through perhaps a few, do a few things, then we'll take that break. Yeah, in fact, two stories that are attracting my attention. Economy Times, CD free fall. Stakeholders want urgent action to slow depreciation. Then the second one is food insecurity worsens as July rates pegged at 5.7%.
You should still wait.
Who are we?
Not the vice president.
Okay. The vice president is the we.
Yeah.
So everything has to wait until he wins power.
Then okay. You will deal with
opposition leader.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, Oba Fefe ya abetami chanting, Yakoba na ya hese oh, yanko pasa sento. Na okwa asase atode a be ba kopɛ no metimi account for the amount se hode okota asase a omsase no kama pa mansutwe bia mu ne omsase ho heart goddess well is the hope na obetimi akɔ wo mo asase yantam de ma Ghana de share 25,000 Ghana cedis ngo pram sanse na 25,000 na obenya bi e Shy Hills we 30,000 Ghana cedis a chopolu benya bi e ho de hia ne so